Every 4.5 minutes, a baby is born with a birth defect. That adds up to approximately 120,000 babies born with a birth defect every year. Simplifying this leaves us with one baby in every 33 pregnancies is born with a birth defect. These birth defects can range from being very mild to very severe. Today, the purpose of this speech is to inform you of one of the most severe birth defects, anencephaly. By you learning about anencephaly today, you will be able to gain a better understanding of what this birth defect is, as well as spread awareness about this illness. I am the founder of the Anencephaly Foundation, a nonprofit organization which aids families who have been affected by this birth defect. Therefore, I have a plethora of knowledge on this topic. Please be advised that there are some vivid graphics throughout this presentation. First, we will be talking about what anencephaly is, followed by what causes anencephaly, and finally, what ways we can prevent anencephaly. So, what is anencephaly? Anencephaly is a neural tube disorder which occurs within the first month of conception. 3 in every 10,000 pregnancies are babies born with anencephaly. Anencephaly occurs when the top of the neural tube does not fully close over its spinal cap. This leaves the top of the neural tube exposed to amniotic fluid, which causes degeneration. By having it degenerate, there is no brain able to form for this baby, so they are born without their forebrain or their cerebrum. These two parts of the brain are very important for any fine motor skill, breathing, walking, talking, eating. They're not able to perform these simple tasks. Also, by having their neural tube exposed, they are not able to form a skull. Therefore, babies are born with a flat head, as you can see in this picture. There are some other tells if a baby has anencephaly. You can see if a baby has anencephaly by their eyes. They are said to have frog-shaped eyes. They could also have folded ears, shortened necks, and elongated bodies. Now, I know that I said anencephaly is very severe, but what makes it so severe is that most of these babies only live for minutes to hours after birth. So about 25%, according to the CDC, of babies show that they are born stillborn. Then a good chunk of them are born and live minutes to hours. As you can see in this picture over here, this baby was born just a few minutes ago, and you can see that they are very similar to their ultrasound, which is one of the main ways that you can detect anencephaly. You see the frog-shaped eyes and the baby. Now, there are some other cases where babies can live longer than hours to minutes, such as this one in the middle. He is approximately 6 months old in this picture, and then since he lived longer than a few hours to minutes, he was re-diagnosed with another anencephalic disorder. She actually recently passed away. She was 4 years old, and she was diagnosed with anencephaly, then re-diagnosed, and then re-diagnosed again because she kept defeating her odds. So anencephaly does take a lot of different shapes and forms, but what exactly causes this, and why are there so many different forms? According to Medline Plus, they say that obesity, lack of vitamin B9, diabetes that are uncontrolled, taking anti-seizure medications, as well as where you live can have a really big impact on babies with anencephaly. It is said that anencephaly should have a great deal of folic acid. So B9, which is folic acid, is one of the main things that helps close the neural tube. If you don't have enough folic acid, babies cannot fully develop and therefore will have a neural tube disorder. The environment is said to have an impact because if they live in a rural environment, their food may not be as nutritious as in a suburban area, as well as the air. The air may be very polluted or very contaminated, which is not healthy for mom or baby to breathe in. Obesity is one of the biggest problems with anencephaly. It was shown in a peer-reviewed journal that healthy women had a concentration interval of 1.3, while obese moms had a 2.9 concentration interval when comparing their rates of neural tube disorders in their babies. That's almost double for obese women. So with all of these causes, how can it be prevented? Well, anencephaly can be not 100% guaranteed prevented, but prevented by things that you can do. By taking prenatal vitamins before and during pregnancy can help decrease the rate of neural tube disorders, as well as watching what you eat. The My Pregnancy Plate as part of the My Healthy Plate campaign, which helps you understand as a pregnant woman what you should be putting into your body during your pregnancy. By putting in certain food groups, you'll be able to see what is best for you and your baby to help keep them healthy. Also, by lowering any doses of medications can really help with decreasing this rate. You want to make sure you live in a clean environment and you keep yourself full of exercise. So I know I just gave you a lot of information. So let's take a second to recap everything that we learned. The first thing that we covered is what anencephaly is. It's a neural tube disorder that occurs within the first month of conception, where most babies do not live because their brain is not formed. The main causes are lack of vitamin B9 as well as obesity. Those are their two main things. And to prevent them, you want to try to keep a healthy diet as well as take an ample amount of supplements of folic acid. 400 milligrams, says the CDC, is the required. Just remember that one of the most important takeaways, you can help babies by now being aware of this. You're fighting for them because they can't fight for themselves. Thank you. Any questions?
So is folic acid in every vitamin or in all vitamins?
Folic acid can be found in its own tablet, which is usually a 400 milligram dosage, or it can be found built in with any other prenatal vitamin. It is something that you want to have whether you're trying to have a baby to prevent neural tube disorders or whether you are currently expecting a baby to keep your levels of balance. So yes. Any other questions?
Does anencephaly have a color, like, purple's for autism?
They do. The color is green. So that was started by the Marley Jane campaign. So she was a baby who was affected by anencephaly, and her mom started a fundraiser and designated